Hello and welcome to Worldview at the Hindu with me, Suhasini Haidar. This week, our third in the series on the India-Pakistan back channel, as a senior diplomat of the United Arab Emirates claims that the UAE is facilitating the dialogue.
An article came out that basically highlighted the role the UAE played in bringing the Kashmir escalation down and sort of created a ceasefire, hopefully ultimately leading to restoring diplomats and getting the relationship back to a healthy level. We try to be helpful where we have influence with two different countries. So India and Pakistan was the most recent one.
Now, those words actually followed a series of articles that have quoted unnamed officials in Delhi, Islamabad, even the UAE, speaking about the existence of a back channel overseen by National Security Advisor Ajit Doval on the Indian side and Pakistan Army Chief General Bajwa. We've referred to those reports, of course, in our previous Worldview episodes. And it's important to note that since February 25th, there has been no official denial of those reports. That's the day that the ceasefire between the two sides saw a joint declaration by the DGMOs, or the Directors General of Military Operations. So we've got in a lot of questions from you about what a back channel is and what that back channel actually does. Certainly, when two countries are at a point where they need to task two of their officials to meet and to hold talks away from the glare of the media, outside of the formal structure, that's really called the back channels. It isn't the bilateral talks between the two countries that we often cover, and it isn't unofficial talks or informal talks between non-officials, or what we call the track 2 process. We hear of these track 2 conferences in various parts. Now, some famous previous back channels would be perhaps the US-Soviet process, where officials met quietly without publicizing it to try and take the process forward. US-China talks 50 years ago, when President Nixon sent his advisor Henry Kissinger to Beijing completely by subterfuge, under the cover of complete silence, to in fact forge a breakthrough in relations between the US and China. Also, more recently, talks between Israel and the UAE, which saw UAE recognize Israel and a number of other West Asian countries, a number of conflicts where we've seen this kind of back channel take place as well. And normally, the back channel itself feeds into the formal process, the more public process. So, for example, in this case between India and Pakistan, the back channel said to be operating between Mr. Doval and Mr. Bajwa would have led to the ceasefire between the DGMOs, the granting of sporting visas, for example, for the first time in years, or even the facilitation of the Indus Water Treaty talks between India and Pakistan that were held after 2 years. Now, according to those reports that we referred to, the two sides have met several times since 2020, most recently, facilitated by the UAE. And their immediate aim, as Ambassador Otaiba seems to suggest, is to restore high commissioners and to formalize talks between the two sides. Now, clearly, there was much surprise, even consternation in both India and Pakistan as this news came in, given the state of bad ties between the two countries. There are no high commissioners, no trade between the two countries, no actual talks. And many did write in to ask about this. But the truth is that back channels have existed at several points in the past. There was one, for example, between intelligence chiefs in 1988 that nearly came to some kind of an agreement on militarization. And that agreement would have been signed between Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi and General Zia. That didn't happen. Then there was the channel between Prime Minister Vajpayee and then later Prime Minister Manmohan Singh on the Indian side and General Musharraf, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and other prime ministers on the other. That lasted about 2004 to 2014. And it did lead to some breakthroughs in Kashmir, the Muzaffarabad Srinagar bus, for example, cross line of control trade, and finally an agreement that was practically done, but then derailed after Pakistani politics took a different turn, and then the 26/11 Mumbai attacks really wiped out chances of any kind of a deal between the two countries. In the course, we've also seen, and more recently too, journalists, businessmen playing a part as interlocutors in the process as well. And then from December 2015 to January 2018, actually, the channel between NSA Doval and Pakistan Special Envoy Nasir Janjua continued to meet in Bangkok, Dubai, and other capitals. Now that process appears to have picked up in 2020 and it continues to date, is what officials say. So the other thing that surprised many was the talk about third-party mediation, especially given that India has consistently said that there is no role for a third country in India-Pakistan talks. There's also the joint position historically in the Shimla Accords as well as the Lahore Accord of 1999. Here again, there have been exceptions. Other countries have played some kind of a role in either beginning, facilitating talks between the two countries. In 1988, for example, the back channel began after Jordanian Crown Prince Hassan had been asked by General Zia to intervene, and then he spoke to Prime Minister Gandhi. In 2019, after the Pulwama attacks and then the Balakot strikes, when Indian Air Force pilot Captain Abhinandan was captured in Pakistan, both the UAE Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed and US President Donald Trump had said quite publicly that they had spoken to both Prime Minister Modi and to Prime Minister Imran Khan to reduce tensions and ensure the release of the pilot. Later in the year, in fact, Mr. Trump even said that Prime Minister Modi had asked him to mediate on Kashmir, which of course caused a huge furor in Parliament, and then the government flatly denied the US President's remarks. And finally, there is the question of why, if these back channels have lasted for so long, have they not been successful in forging a more lasting peace? And the answer really is that eventually any secret talks, any secret agreement must be accepted publicly in order for it to be politically viable. In other words, unless leaders prepare their own publics, their own voters for what they hope to achieve from the talks, that process inevitably falters. Inevitably, of course, engagement starts once again. Now, a reader did write in to our YouTube channel, and I'd like to quote them when they say that the road to success is always under construction. Now, you can read much more about the back channel and the India-Pakistan latest developments on our website, www.thehindu.com. In fact, there's an interview there that the most recent back channel negotiator in the past, Ambassador Satinder Lamba, spoke to The Hindu last week, gave a lot of details of how this back channel actually works. There's a column on back channels as well that was written by me that's on the website. And of course, there are all the book recommendations we gave you in the previous episodes, episode 9 and episode 4. But that's all we have time for here on Worldview from the team. Thanks for watching.